and displays them based on some criteria that you set. This would be writing a SQL query with, select whatever from database, where whatever equals whatever, but we do it all by clicking. So let's create a new view. Where's that link? Add, view add. And we're going to call the view near me, because it's going to be sightings near me. Near me. Okay, view type. Usually a view is going to want to bring up a list of nodes. Remember, nodes are our content types. It could also bring up users, taxonomy terms, files, but we're just going to leave it on node. So we've created a new view, and it brings up this convoluted page with all these different options. And it's kind of hard because my screen is getting squunched up here. Let me do one thing to make this look better on the screen. I'm going to go to the blocks configuration and get rid of this block on the left, and that's going to let us use the whole screen. So, yeah, this thing on the left is the navigation block. So I'm just going to move it off the left sidebar and put it down at the bottom, down on the footer, yeah, and user login too. So that should give us a lot more screen real estate. Okay, and let's go back to views, edit view. Yeah, I guess I need to reload the page. So I'm just going to save the view for now and then come back to it and, okay, yes. Okay, so now I've got a lot more room on the screen. Okay, so our basic settings, we can choose how our list of nodes is formatted. We're just going to say unformatted. I'm not going to mess with the looks right now because we're just interested in pulling the right data out of the database. Use pager, that's an important setting where you could go through the different pages. Items to display 10, that's good. Whole bunch of other stuff. The main thing that we're looking at here is the fields, and these are the fields that we're going to pull out of the database and display. So the first field that we want, I click the plus, and that's going to open up a little box down here. The first field that we're going to want is the date. That would be useful. We can get to that under content. You can see there's a million options here. You can get to that under content date, add. So now we've got a date field. It wants us to configure how that field is displayed. I'm just going to do all the defaults. Okay. Another field that we're going to want is going to be the distance, the proximity. I'm going to go down here to location, distance, proximity. We want it in miles from the user's location. Okay, let's save all the defaults. You can actually see it's kind of telling me the query that it's going to use on the database as I build it. Views is really just a query builder. And the sort criteria, we're going to sort on location. So I'm going to pick location again. Scroll down here. And once again, I have to say that it's distance from the user, ascending, and let's just put a filter to where we only see locations within, several thousand miles of us. location distance. You know, we'll just put in 5,000 miles to narrow it down. Okay, and one last thing, let's just put one other field will be our taxonomy, because remember, we're classifying the type of alien through taxonomy. So I'm going to put in a field for the taxonomy, all terms, because that's going to tell us what type of alien was sighted near us. And I'm going to say limit terms by vocabulary type of ET. Let's output this field as a link. Okay, and update. Okay, and we really haven't created anything here. What we've just done is built a query. I want to put that query into a page so we can see the results of the query. So I have to add a display for page. And let's add a path for the page will be sightings near me. That means when I go to this URL, I'll actually get this view. Let's add a menu item. So we'll put a normal menu entry, say sightings near me. And we're going to put this in the primary links because it's important. Yeah, that's really a theming issue. Yeah. Yeah. We've created a page, but you can also create a block. And a block are like little tiny pages that you can put next to the page. There's also another module called panels, and that lets you put multiple views in one page. So you could put, you know, a view here and a view here.
Do you know what the website looks like at the moment?
We're about to go to it and see what it looks like. So I've actually created this view. It does show a little preview down here. Well, actually, it doesn't right now, but it's created the menu link up at the top, sightings near me. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and that's going to show the view that we just created. And so this is really ugly right now, but it does have all the bits of info that we want. I could go back and theme this later to make it look actually presentable. But so our closest sighting is the Dave Mon sighting, and that was 6 miles away today. And then it lists all the other ones in order of proximity. Now what we might want to do is we might want to make these links to the sightings that we could click on. But that's all we'll do for now. The last thing that we wanted to do on the site was to create a class of users that can edit other people's sightings. And so I'll show you how to do that. Our menu is down at the bottom now, so let me get down to there. Administer. And we are going to create a role that can edit other posts. So we're going to go down here to roles and create a role, and we're calling it Men in Black. So we've created this role. We can assign any permissions we want to this role. So I'm going to do edit permissions. And the Men in Black, what they do is they censor sighting reports. So we're going to say they can delete any citing content, and they can edit any citing content. So who are the Men in Black? They're whichever users we assign the Men in Black role to. So let's just assign that role to our user and verify that the user can delete or edit citing reports. I want users.
That test module lets you create users too?
It does. So I could generate, 100 users with different roles to test. But we really just need one user to test. So I'm going to edit our one user. And since I'm an administrator, I can just add him to the Men in Black role. So let's save. Okay, and let's do a final check that everything is how we want. Not as pretty as we want, but everything is working how we want it. So I just logged out, and I'm going to log back in as our user. Our menu's at the bottom. Username is user. Password is user. Okay, so let's verify that I can do sightings. Well, actually the user doesn't have a location, so we won't be able to do sightings near me, but we already tested that with admin. But let's verify that we can edit and delete sightings. So I opened up a sighting, and yes, it is giving me an edit link. So I could, if I'm the Men in Black, I could redact that part. Also, if I go down, I can delete. And that's what we wanted to be able to do. So we've created a site in however long that took, and it's not very pretty, but it does everything that we want. Some other stuff that we could have done pretty easily would be to add photos to our sighting reports, as blurry as they may be if they're alien sightings. We could pretty easily create RSS feeds off of the view we created, so people could have, automatically updated sighting reports. We could add forums, which is just as simple as enabling the forum module. We could add a user editable wiki, which might make sense for an alien sightings. There are modules that let you integrate with Twitter. I'm not familiar with them. There are so many modules for Drupal that it's not even funny. And that's kind of the strength and the weakness. There's so many that you're not sure which ones to use and which ones not to use. So I guess that's the question mark. And profit. There are plenty of, modules for running ads, Google ads, web e-commerce carts, that kind of stuff. We didn't really talk about file handling. Drupal can store files, let people upload files, download files. We didn't really talk about that. Themes. The theming system in Drupal is really good. You can theme little individual parts. You can theme the whole thing. But we didn't talk about that. Usually I kind of ignore that part because I'm really just interested in the functionality. And custom modules. Modules are pretty easy to write in Drupal if you know a little bit of PHP. All you have to do is create a module file, put it in a directory, and in your module you just have to define these functions. And some of these books will walk you through writing a module, but some of the books I want to mention as being really good are this beginning Drupal book. There are actually a couple of beginning Drupal books, but I read this one cover to cover, the one with the dart on the front. It's pretty good. It gives you a good overview of all the different parts. Pro Drupal development talks about writing modules. I really didn't understand Drupal until I looked at this Pro Drupal development book. It has a lot of flowcharts and how things actually fit together.